In today's video, we're going to be talking about public forms for Jira software. This is something that was recently released as of April of 2025. What's nice about public forms is they allow you to get information from external parties, such as a customer, and someone that does not have a Jira license for your Jira org or your company, and they are able to submit information such as a feature request or give you information through this form depending on how you have it configured and set it up. What that information does is once someone fills out a form, it then creates a work item or a task in your Jira project, and you can control what kind of work item or task it creates. So let's go ahead and hop over to Jira and I'll show you a couple of use cases and how public forms can be used. First, you'll see that I'm in my demo Jira org, and first thing you want to do to access forms is you want to go to the project that you want to create a form for. If you do want to create a form, you do have to create a form for each individual and specific project as of right now. In the future, they will expand this to have a template that you can share among all Jira projects, but for now, the forms need to be tied to a unique project so that when a form is submitted, a ticket is created under that specific project and that project only rather than all of your Jira projects. Here we are going to navigate to my NPD Scrum board under my NPD demo project. And here on the new custom navigation bar, you will see something that says forms. If you do not see forms here, go ahead and hit that plus icon to add it to your navigation, and you should see it in the drop down here. Just select it and click add to navigation. Here you can see this is where forms are, so I'm going to go ahead and select forms. And you'll see that I have two forms already created here. You likely will not have any forms created, though you may be prompted to create a form based on these templates. You could create a blank form, a form from scratch, a feature request, a bug report, an incident report, technical review, or a change request. So you can see that these are some very helpful cases as to why you would want someone who doesn't have a Jira license for your company to be able to submit some of these feedback items and then create a ticket for your project. Here you can see I've used the template for feature requests. So let's go ahead and take a look at feature request first. When you click into feature request or you create that feature request template, you'll see that it prompts for an email address, it prompts for the feature title, which will turn into the summary for the work item within Jira, or as I like to call it, the task name, essentially. It will ask for a feature overview. This will be populated in the description. So here we have provide an overview of the feature, including purpose, benefits, and impact. It will prompt whoever's filling out this form to add a priority to it, right? So you want to know how important it is to them. And then here you can see that I have this attachments added. The reason I have this added is because I really want to call out that you cannot add all fields to forms as of right now. So you can see it says attachments cannot be uploaded to public forms. And so what you can do is you can click and you can drag this back to remove it. And the reason that attachments can't be added to forms and all of these other fields that are blanked out here on the right-hand side, they cannot be added to fields because they are considered restricted. This says restricted fields may contain sensitive data. They won't be shown in any public access forms. This is really important for security purposes. You really just want to make sure that you're not putting any information that you wouldn't want out there on these public forms and through these public links for anyone to be able to access. You can, however, add custom fields. If you do create custom fields or you have anything else here that you want to add, such as like part number or any additional information, you can then click, hold, and drag those fields, and you can reorder them in whatever order you see fit. So additional information requested. So I'm going to go ahead and drag these back because I just want to keep the template as is for the time being. The other thing you will notice is that all of the items that are submitted under feature request will be a story. So when a form gets submitted, a feature request form gets submitted, it will create a story within my Jira project. Here you can see this is where you can control access to the form. So you can have the form be public, you can have it limited, so anyone with permission to this project and access the form and submit a form, or you can have it open, so anyone that has access to your Jira, your company's Jira site can go ahead and access this form and submit a form request. So there are some different levels of permissions that you can control here, but public forms is what's new. So we're going to explore the public forms. You will be asked to enter a reporter so that someone is notified every single time something from a public form gets submitted. Here you can see this is where you can share that link to the form. So copy the link, and that's how you share, and people can access the form in a public view. You can also, if you don't want to publish the form yet, preview it in a new tab by using this feature, and it'll just open it up here. You can see here we are with the preview of the feature request. Now I actually copied and pasted a link here for the feature request, and so here you can see that this is what that public link looks like. So use this form to request new features or changes, include the feature's purpose, benefits, and any impact on current workflows. So we are going to request the feature for public forms. And this we'll put a high priority. Let's just say it's really important. And let's go ahead and submit this. You can see we're on it. Thanks for your response. And you can now view this request. Now, the only reason I'm able to view this request, of course, is because I have access to my NPD project. And so here you can see it's actually created under the NPD demo project, this story that is enabled public forms. Here's the description here that I had listed, and then the priority, of course, is listed as high. And so this is one way that you can really leverage public forms to be able to request feature information or gather feature requests from customers. The other use case that I have for using public forms is, of course, for a design review. So maybe you want to get approval on a design review. You can create some of these fields like I created here, decision date and design approved or denied. What's really cool about this is if you can select approved or denied, or you can say pending additional information. You can then put some conditions on there. So if a user or a customer actually selects pending additional information, you can prompt them and require them for the additional information that they are requesting, and then they submit that request into your form, and then that will create, again, a ticket within your project itself. Public forms are actually really neat and smart for Atlassian to restrict certain fields that you aren't able to share sensitive information. One of the things that an area for improvement is to eliminate that restriction as long as IP addresses for certain customers are whitelisted. That way it just adds another layer of security so that only people with certain IP addresses are able to access these links to these forms, and therefore it would be okay for them to have some of that restricted information, such as attachments at these submissions. So see what Atlassian does in the future. They do have forms in Jira Service Management, but this is the very first time that they are introducing public forms to Jira software. I'm really excited that they've introduced this, and I'm curious to see what your use cases are. So let me know what you think about public forms and try it out.